Hello, everyone. I want to say welcome to Beauty and Gratitude. It's Friday night at 8 p.m. And as you know, for this season, season four, I've had some amazing guests. We've talked about everything from entrepreneurship, spirituality, what beauty and gratitude means to each guest, everything from model scout and agent extraordinaire Eric Stern, perfumer, Rodney Fitzhughes, I'm sorry, and many others we've had this particular season. And I'm very honored to have Nzingha. And if you don't know who Nzingha is, you should. She is an influential makeup artist of the century, I would even say. How about that? Do you
Oh,
like that, Enzinga?
I do.
Welcome, Nzinga, everyone.
Hi.
Hi, love. How are you?
I'm so good. I'm great.
You look
And that's
stunning.
an affirmation.
Yes, you look stunning. I love the headpiece, the gold, just beautiful.
Thank you.
Yes, yes. Nzinga, tell us, describe yourself as a child. Tell me what was little Nzinga like as a kid.
Precocious.
Yes.
Very, very, very sure of
Mhm,
herself.
mhm.
My mom always gave me words of affirmation. And I'm being perfectly honest with you, I don't
Yes,
think I ever had a bout with self-esteem.
that's beautiful. It's
Like
beautiful.
that has never been an issue for me. And I know
Mhm,
that sounds crazy, but and some people may have said too much,
mhm, mhm. Yes.
you know, and that I'm prideful. But
Mhm.
no, I'm just assured, and I believed what my mother said about me.
Yes, yes. It starts with upbringing. It starts with planting seeds. Mhm,
Yeah, she told me I was beautiful. She told me I was smart.
mhm.
You know, she told me I was brilliant. She called me her star, her little muffin.
Wow. Mhm, mhm. And it's interesting, you people that you like, I find that you call them Muffin. You're like, hey, Muffin. I was like, oh,
Yeah, I
that
do.
comes from your mom. That comes from your mom.
Yeah.
Wow. So, did you always know that you wanted to be a makeup artist?
No,
Tell
no,
me your journey.
that
How did you fall
uh,
into it?
yeah, that was not the plan.
Mhm,
I'm from a British Caribbean family
mhm,
on my mom's side. My father's African American,
mhm,
and two different cultures. We're all Black people, but two different cultures.
mhm.
Um, and in the Caribbean culture, you have five choices of a job, and that's either you're a lawyer, a doctor, an engineer of some sort, nurse or teacher,
Mhm,
or a bum.
mhm, mm, mm.
You check? And
I got
so
it.
I was pre-law in college.
Wow.
Yeah, and and I took education courses because at the time I worked for the Board of Education
Okay.
as a teacher because
Wow.
my mother was a teacher, my
Mm,
father was a teacher, my stepmother was a teacher. So education was premier in our family.
yes.
And so while I was, working for the Board of Ed, I was taking remedial courses in education and teaching,
Mhm,
but I also took other courses at my own personal expense. Oops, sorry
mhm.
about.
No worries. Okay.
Can I get me back? There we go.
There you
Uh,
go. Mhm,
and I was interested in law,
mhm.
entertainment law in particular, and corporate contracts, which
Wow.
require a lot of reading, which I
Mhm,
love to do because that's all I ever did. My mother was an English teacher. So
mhm.
all that was around me was books.
Wow.
These were all very mature books, so when I got to high school, junior high school, I wasn't in a regular school when I was younger because I was
Mhm.
homeschooled.
Oh,
Um,
wow. That's
yeah,
amazing.
yeah, we were living in the UK at the time,
Mhm.
And I was homeschooled.
Mhm.
And then when we came back to the States, I was in junior high school. And when I got to junior high school,
Mhm.
uh, it was a different world.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm
You
sure.
know, I make adjustments in being in an official classroom with
Mhm.
other students, and they always made fun of me.
Mhm. Yeah,
You know,
because I'm sure because you were studious and you had more knowledge, maybe than some of the teachers. You know, I find people that are homeschooled. I have many family members that were, and as well as a friend of mine, she homeschools her twin boys. I find a certain maturity level that they have, as well as knowledge, is very different than a public or a private school even.
yeah,
um, there's an awareness, there is a type of self-esteem that they have that it's unlike kids in public school per se, you know.
yeah, yeah, I think so. And you know, the fact that, you know, I was living overseas and, you know, kids would make fun of the way that I spoke.
Mhm.
You know, I'm living in the Bronx. I was born in the Bronx. So
Mhm.
Bronx, New York, but I, you
Yes.
know, didn't spend a great deal of time there growing up per
Mhm.
se,
Mhm.
um, until I was a teenager. And
Wow.
by the time I was a teenager, uh, hip hop music was the thing. It was just coming up.
Mhm.
So this was like amazing to me.
Mhm.
You know, my father was a jazz musician and taught jazz. He was a
Mm.
music.
Mhm.
And so when I got into high school, I went into the High School of Performing Arts as a music major.
Oh, wow. Mhm.
Yeah, because I could play instruments. My father played 27 instruments.
That's bananas. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah,
Mm.
he's, God rest him, he was pretty amazing.
Mhm.
You know, and I'm working actually on a documentary to talk about my family.
Yes,
Um,
we're gonna get to that for sure. I definitely want to talk about that. Mhm.
Are you ready to take that first step towards true, unwavering inner happiness? Are you like thousands of people who have everything they need, not want, but need, and still can't seem to find happiness and fulfillment in their lives? If so, the Steps to Happiness show is for you. On my show, you will learn about the principles and practices that lead to true inner happiness. Because guess what? It isn't found in our external environment, but within ourselves instead. Together with my guests, we will explore the latest physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being practices. And together we'll advise you on the actionable steps you can take towards a happier, more fulfilled, authentic life. So I invite you to join me each week on Soul Liberty TV on the Steps to Happiness show with me, Teresa Greco.
Life is full of moments. And when sickness breaks your momentum, from the 5 a.m. stomach bug, or stress and anxiety at work, don't forget you have Teladoc. Great care options by phone, video, or app. 24/7 access to doctors. And access to therapists 7 days a week. From anywhere you are. Day or night. Whatever it is, we're always ready to help. So you can get back to enjoying life's best moments faster. Life is good. Enjoy it well.
Visit a doctor today without even leaving your home. For as little as $19.95 per month for a family plan, you get access to board-certified physicians as often as you need it, and there's $0 for medical visits anytime, anywhere. Register now by visiting soulliberty.com/health perks. That's solivity.com/health perks.
Welcome to your new you with Aspire by Solivity. Virtual inspiration for your mind, body, and soul. With the help of at-home experts and celebrity guests, Aspire by Solivity provides tools to tap into the passion and purpose that lives within you. Find classes to educate and motivate you. From nutrition to your body and a whole lot more. So, take the leap. Start your new journey with Aspire by Solivity today. Sign up now.
You know, it's really pretty dynamic, your journey from the Bronx to the UK, back to the Bronx, but at the pinnacle of where hip hop was starting to blow up. Also, certain R&B stars whom you happen to work with, a lot of them. And if you want to name a few, feel free. you know, everything from Aaliyah to Mary J. Blige, and the list just goes on and on and on. This allows you to travel a lot globally. Am I correct?
Yes. And I think, you know, when God has a purpose for your life, you don't necessarily know, you know, in the early stages of your life is when you're primed for that thing that you will eventually do as of your life. Because look how I was traveling when I was younger. Child, that wasn't, you know, my personal doing. That was the doing of my parents. And what I was taught by them. And my mom and I, we traveled the world together. You know what I mean? So I was
beautiful.
always on planes, trains, buses, automobiles, you know. And at the time, I was always upset about it. You know, it was like, can we settle in?
Yes.
You know, it's hard to make friends.
Yeah.
And have some kind of normalcy.
Right.
When you're traveling like that. But I know now that it was for political reasons.
Yes, yes.
You know, that we were like that. But it helped me. You know, I didn't have to make any adjustments when I was on tour with the biggest pop names in the music business.
Yes.
So I already toured the world. I know what it's like to travel already. So it wasn't a thing for me to pack up a bag and go.
Yes. What was your first big gig? Like your first big job? Do you remember it?
Yeah, yes. It was in the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s.
Okay.
Working for a R&B singer who had a pop tune at the time. The artist's name was Freddie Jackson.
Hello. Yes.
And I was assistant makeup.
Wow. Interesting.
Which was a first for me because I've never really been an assistant makeup artist. Only now in my life have I assisted people. So that situation, you know, I came into, and it was so interesting. We had a meeting and Freddie looked at me and he said, "Oh, she's one of the models. Nice to meet you." And I was like, "No, sir. No, I'm the assistant makeup artist for today." And what wound up happening, the department head, she actually took another job.
Oh, wow.
She took another job that evening that paid more and paid her more money and left me to do the music video by myself.
And it was your first time on set?
It was my first time on set.
Oh, wow.
So I was calling her all day long as to what to do.
Wow.
For a music video. And this was a #1 tune.
Right. But you did it. You did it.
I did exactly what she told me to do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow.
And the director loved me. The artist loved me. And the director wound up calling me for all of the work that they had ever done.
Mm.
I had years of work with this particular director.
Wow. It makes
So
a difference. I tell people it's about showing up, right? It's about being ready and present and in the mindset of yes. Because you could
yeah.
have freaked out and ran out of there and they could have been stuck finding another makeup artist, but you stepped up and you stepped in, which is amazing.
Well, and two, what I said to you earlier, like I'm not somebody who suffers from low self-esteem. So part of me already knew I could do it.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes.
So I just did it with instructions, of course, because I'm able to listen.
What's really amazing is that I know the 90s, the 2000s, you were pivotal towards the music industry as well as fashion and beauty. You had MAC contracts. You were traveling the world with famous celebrities, male and female. Magazine covers, magazine editorials, etc. And yet you remain humble. At least the person that I have met and know is very humble. How do you keep that balance? How do you keep that grounding, I should say?
Thank you for saying that. I think it's because I make a conscious effort to be very present and self-aware about the world that I actually live in and I'm privileged to live in. I think being a celebrity makeup artist that keeps their feet on the ground, meaning that I go out into the neighborhoods. I don't shy away from that. I go do everyday things. And it's so funny, I always refer to this. I say that I can be in the hood, ordering chicken from the chicken spot.
Yes.
In 1 hour, and then in the next hour, be on the red carpet.
That part. Yes.
So it's a privilege that we have as celebrity makeup artists, is having our ears to the ground, if you're that kind of person, which I am. I like to see people. People are my muses.
Yes.
The world is.
Amen.
You can find all the Satonic products at our Go shop on Solivity at go.solivity.com now. Shop for beauty products, skincare, hair care, it is all there. At the Go shop, Go Shop Solivity.
Have you ever asked the question, if I was to be anything, what would I be? Regardless of money, regardless of status, beyond popularity and fame. Living your passion, feeling your life has purpose. Solivity is a space to nurture that which lives in all of us. A place where work can become play, and doing what we love creates the dreams of a lifetime.
You know what's interesting is that I remember one time going to a really big party or gala and then coming home and I was like, my home doesn't feel like the life I'm living in my work life. I said, I have to level it up. I have to make sure that it's aligned. It's very similar. And I remember that consciously happening. But it doesn't mean that I won't go to the fish spot on 145th. I will get
Right,
on the train from Fifth Avenue and 34th and go up to Harlem to get my
right,
fried fish on a Friday. So it
right.
didn't matter, you know?
Because really, that's where all of your style icons are.
Yeah, say that.
Your style icons are in the hood if you're paying attention.
Let's unpack that. Because we know the nails, right? Back in the day, people would
Yes,
mock girls in the hood for their ornate nails. They would
yes,
mock their hairdos and the earrings and the accessories.
yes,
And ironically, it ends up on the runway 20, 30 years later
yes,
in Vogue. So
yes,
you're right. The inspirations are always in the hood. Mhm.
yes. Well, I don't get my inspiration from Birkenstocks and Izod Lacoste.
Right.
That's
Hmm.
boring. It's
Right.
boring. It's the same palette. It's nothing, and that is a statement for fashion.
Yes, that's true.
So the fashion, even though we may think, some of the hood fashion is maybe gaudy to those people who are, uh, work within that beige palette.
Hmm.
Um,
Mm, mm.
I hate to tell you, baby, you're boring.
Right.
You're passe and you're boring and uninspired. And that's
Hmm.
probably why they do evil things.
Mm, mm. Okay, let's let's go back to this. What are your other passions? What are your other passions besides makeup? What other things drive you? I know that you're an amazing cook. I haven't tasted your food, but I've seen amazing, beautiful photos and presentations. I'm like, I want to eat everything you're cooking, even if I'm allergic to it.
Food is definitely one of my other passions.
Hmm.
Definitely, because I see food as art.
Yes.
Food is
Hmm.
a form of art.
Hmm.
Uh, I love to paint.
Yes.
Um, I love water sports and horseback riding.
Me too. Yes. Especially horseback riding. Yes.
You know, uh, we had horses. I have a farm back at home,
Hmm.
and we used to have horses
Hmm. Wow.
when growing up.
Hmm.
And when I say home, I mean the British Virgin Islands.
Yes. 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 Hmm.
So that was one of my pit stops. That was the third stop
Hmm.
from Bronx, UK, British Virgin Islands.
But that is
So
great exposure. That is a great
well,
connection to,
it exposed me to three different cultures.
yeah.
So I embrace all of those things, and it comes through. I believe in my perspective in dealing with people
Hmm.
and the way that I perform my artistry and
Yes.
my fearlessness for colors because I love color.
Mm, that's a good point. And my next question is perfect because I was going to say to you, you've been around the world. So if you were walking through a museum anywhere in the world, what would you be drawn to? What would pull you to it?
You mean artist wise?
Artists, architecture, whatever it would be, if you were in a museum anywhere in the world. So,
I love architecture. I
mhm,
definitely, that's a word you just mentioned. I love
mhm.
architecture, beautiful frescoes uh,
Wow.
in Italy,
Mhm.
uh, African art.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
particularly fascinated by zebras.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah, I
I
love.
wish I had known you a few years ago because I had a gorgeous portrait of a zebra, black and white, and it just didn't fit with my decor. It was huge, framed beautifully, matted, everything. And I gave it to a friend because I was like, "You'll use this in your home." Wish I'd known you, I would have given it to you because,
Yeah, I love
yeah,
zebras. Well, they're in the horse family. So
they
I told
are.
you horseback riding. So,
Uh-huh.
they're an offshoot of the horses. So I love that. Um, like I said, I love color and texture. It's so funny when I just mentioned texture because it reminded me of when I was growing up. I was singing in the choir, and my choir mistress, she used to get on me all the time. She used to get on me all the time because I never ironed my collars.
Interesting.
I hate ironing. Don't ever leave my house looking for an iron. That
Okay.
point that. So so she would get on me about my collar being wrinkled all the time.
Mhm. Interesting.
And one day I said to her, I said, "Oh, I wish you would leave me alone because my collar represents texture and dimension."
Ooh, good answer. Good answer, honey. You've traveled
Rude? If you
extensively.
think I was rude.
No, you got her told. Trust me, I had to tell some teachers some things every now and then when I was younger because, they have conscious and unconscious bias, and they will say things to you that are off color. And if you're not a kid that's aware, it can really affect your self-esteem. And like you, I was shy, but I didn't have a self-esteem issue. So if a teacher came at me in the wrong way, I had no problem telling them what I
And
thought.
yeah, totally. And she was I grew up in an Episcopal church.
Hmm.
My grandmother was Episcopalian, which is a
Hmm.
very Caribbean thing.
Hmm.
And, I was 13 at the time when she was saying all of this. So I was feeling my oats at the time. Back then I wanted my hair braided. I was back in the Bronx. I wanted to be into the culture,
Yes, I get it.
and my mom was a model that
Mhm.
modeled natural hair. And so
Yes,
me, you know, I wanted my hair to look like Peaches and Herb,
love it.
which
Yes.
was an old group from the 70s,
Oh, yes. Hmm.
Russian, those people who wore their hair braided with beads on the ends.
Yes.
And
Hmm.
so I came one day to the choir once again with my wrinkled collar, and this time I had braids with beads on the end.
Ooh. So when you were singing and moving, it was messing with their flow. Mm.
No, she got me before we actually got on the platform. And
Wow.
she said, "What is wrong with your hair, young lady?"
I love it. I love it.
Are you ready to take that first step towards true, unwavering inner happiness? Are you like thousands of people who have everything they need, not want, but need, and still can't seem to find happiness and fulfillment in their lives? If so, the Steps to Happiness show is for you. On my show, you will learn about the principles and practices that lead to true inner happiness. Because guess what? It isn't found in our external environment, but within ourselves instead. Together with my guests, we will explore the latest physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being practices. And together, we'll advise you on the actionable steps you can take towards a happier, more fulfilled, authentic life. So I invite you to join me each week on Soulivity TV on the Steps to Happiness show with me, Teresa Greco.
6 years ago, when I started Soulivity, my vision was to support everyone in improving their life through the discovery of their passion and purpose, so they could become the best version of themselves, to battle fear and ignorance, and create a better world today. Get inspired to live your passion and purpose. Visit Soulivity.com now. Soulivity Magazine and Beyond Words Publishing want to remind you about the importance of continuing to follow public health guidelines to protect yourself, your loved ones, and your community. Please continue to wear a mask, wash your hands, and watch your distance.
Please visit these sites for further information about how to stay safe from COVID-19 into the new year. Remember, love protects us.
Welcome to your new you with Aspire by Solivity. Virtual inspiration for your mind, body, and soul. With the help of at-home experts and celebrity guests, Aspire by Solivity provides tools to tap into the passion and purpose that lives within you. Find classes to educate and motivate you. From nutrition to your body and a whole lot more. So, take the leap. Start your new journey with Aspire by Solivity today. Sign up now.
So another question for you. I know with your travel, what are your three top favorite cities to be in? Your top three.
Ooh,
Good question, right?
ooh. Here in the States?
Anywhere in the world. You know, this is all about a global experience.
London,
Okay. Oh, I love London. Love it.
New York,
Mhm.
when it was at its seediest.
Yes. Okay. Mhm.
Um, mm,
So London, New York, and one more. I'm sure there's many more, but just one more.
yeah, I'm trying to figure out because it's a shakeup.
Mhm.
Milan
Mhm. Mhm.
and Chicago.
Interesting. You know, Milan and Chicago actually remind me of, they're very similar in many ways. I don't know if people
Yes,
realize this. So when
yeah,
I went to Milan for the first time, this is way back in the 90s, I was like, I don't like this city. And my partner at the time was like, why? Why don't you like it? I said, it reminds me of Chicago, which is where I grew up. So I wanted to get out and go back to Rome or go to Florence or someplace else. However, knowing what I know now, I would go back to Milan and really explore it more intensively.
yeah.
You know, yeah.
Oh,
Mhm.
and there you find your fashion icons too.
True.
You
True. True. True.
a lot of those, I find a lot of the older ladies.
Mhm.
I love them because you know who I think of, who comes to my mind automatically is Iris Apfel.
Yes, yes, yes. Mhm.
I love
That's why
her.
she's very Chicago, actually, because women in Chicago, especially on Oak Street, are very eclectic like that. The
Yes.
jewelry, the glasses, the muumuus, the
Yeah,
beautiful ornate jackets. Yeah,
yeah, very bad.
yes.
And that was kind of like the direction my mom was in later on in her life. You
Oh, I
know,
love it.
she
Oh.
was a jewelry queen and
Mhm.
um, you know, that kind of thing.
Hence your crown. I can see that you got that from your mom. How you accessorize is really beautiful. Really
Thank
beautiful.
you.
You're channeling like the great mother, honey. I love it.
Well, you know, I feel like when you say great mother, that's so interesting you say that because I consider myself to be a world mother.
Yes.
Um, you know, I wanted 10 children.
Ooh, really?
Yeah, I wanted 10 children. Obviously, I don't have any
It's
at
still not too
all.
late. You can adopt a few.
Not too late. Um, I wanted 10 children because I looked at Rose Kennedy,
Mhm.
who was, you know, she wasn't a style icon for me, but
No, no.
she was more of a
Matriarch, yeah.
yeah, a matriarch and a calculated matriarch,
True.
and that her children were all in some form of entertainment or politics.
True. Yes. Wow. That's
That
very powerful.
she was a learned woman and very calculated about what she
Mhm.
wanted.
For her family, yes. And her husband too. Yeah. Mhm.
Yes. So now what I do is I have industry babies. So people
Yes.
that I work with on set who are younger, I
Mhm.
take underneath my wing
Mhm.
and
Yes.
I just have a sit down and chat with them about
Mhm.
the
And
you know?
school them and having that legal advice that that you studied, because we talked about this already about contracts and really being aware of what you're saying yes to. And like I'm sure you have, I have too. I've made mistakes where I've said yes to jobs and like, ooh, I should have never taken this,
Yeah,
because the little details that I didn't write in my deal memo or my contract are the things that I was like, oh, this is a non-negotiable next time, So it's good to be a mentor, a mother, a great mother, and help these kids navigate.
yeah. And it's unfortunate because I didn't have that exact type of mentoring as I came into the industry.
Mhm.
Because when I came into the industry, it was like blood. My third year in the industry, I was working with the hugest pop artists
Mm. Mhm.
ever in the world.
Can you say the name, please? you know,
Well, at the time I was working with Janet Jackson
exactly.
and
Yes.
Prince, and
Mhm.
uh, George Michael was one of my clients.
Oh, George. Oh my God. Yes.
Yeah, I had several people. I worked with Diana Ross.
Yes.
And I've had several run-ins. My music, um, my run in music
Mhm.
was uh, really, I still am very fascinated by it
Honey, it was
because
legendary. Let's use that word. It was legendary, darling.
yeah,
It was great. Yeah.
I do think so. I pinch myself every time I talk about it
Yeah.
because when I was 18, 16, 17, 18, I used to do, I just started drawing,
Mhm.
like sketching.
Mhm.
I don't sketch anymore. It was almost like a window of time that I did that.
Mhm.
And I was sketching portraits of
Interesting.
of my favorite singers. So I would look at magazines, all the pop magazines, and I would look at them, and then I would sketch what I saw on the cover of the pop magazine. And my mom said, "Where did this come from? I've never seen you draw before, ever, ever. Where
Mm.
did it come from?" She always saw me with a coloring book, and to color inside the lines and things like that, and my choice of colors. But
Mhm.
she never actually saw me draw, and I never actually did. So where this came from is, it truly was from God.
I was
Um,
gonna say, it's spirit, and also is showing you your manifestation of what was to come in your life.
and that part, it was 5 years later
Wow.
that I wound up working with almost everybody I had sketched when I was a teenager.
Solivity Magazine and Beyond Words Publishing want to remind you about the importance of continuing to follow public health guidelines to protect yourself, your loved ones, and your community. Please continue to wear a mask, wash your hands, and watch your distance. Please visit these sites for further information about how to stay safe from COVID-19 into the new year. Remember, love protects us. Have you ever asked the question, if I was to be anything, what would I be? Regardless of money, regardless of status, beyond popularity and fame. Living your passion, feeling your life has purpose. Solivity is a space to nurture that which lives in all of us. A place where work can become play, and doing what we love creates the dreams of a lifetime.
Hi there, Sheila Applegate here with some exciting news. I've joined the incredible Soulivity team as the host of the new Consciously Awesome live show, where I will be sharing insights to help you discover your full brilliance and claim the vibrant life you deserve. So tune in every Wednesday right here on Soulivity TV to join the fun, and remember to subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss a single episode. Have an awesome week, and I will see you on Wednesday.
There is so much power with intentionality, and sometimes it's very unconscious, but it's conscious at the same time. I've
Yes.
done this often, Nzingha. I have written down things that I've wanted or individuals I wanted to work with, and they have been drawn to me,
Yes.
and I tell people it's not about knocking someone out of the way, it's not about bad mouthing people, it's not about any of that stuff. It's just about being centered,
Yes.
knowing that it will come. I'll give you a really good example. I moved back to New York from San Francisco about, let's say, 25 years ago. And I was in the Whitney Museum and there was a show with Matthew Barney. So I was going, Guggenheim, I'm sorry. I was going up the circular Guggenheim Museum. I started at the top, working my
Which
way
is
down.
architecture, by the way.
Beautiful,
If no one has
beautiful.
ever, you must go to Guggenheim just to look at the building.
Yes, the Guggenheim in New York or Spain, Balboa. But
Well,
yes, so
gorgeous.
in the Guggenheim in New York City, and I ended up going in one of these rooms. It was so beautiful. It was sculpture of Matthew Barney, installations, video, etc. And there was a tomb of Ellen Bernstein in this tomb. And I was so moved by it. I was like, wow, this man is prolific. I was like, and I said it in a whisper. So I spoke it. I said, God, I don't know how, when, or where, but I'm going to work with this man. Let it go. I said it, I left. A few years later, a friend says to me, "Oh, I know Matthew." I was like, "Oh, really?" He's like, "Yeah, I've seen him throw stuff out that he didn't like. He would throw it in his dumpster." I was like, "I hope you dumpster dove and like took it." He's like, "No." He's like, "No, I didn't." And we were laughing about that.
Not
And then
ever dumpster diving.
and then almost a year later, and I swear on my Zohar, which is this computer sitting on, um, a year or so later, a friend of mine is dating this German makeup artist, Thorsten Weiss, who happens to work with Bjork. And
Of New York.
Bjork was dating Matthew Barney or married to Matthew Barney at the time. And Thorsten needed makeup artists for this project that Matthew Barney was working on. And my friend says to his boyfriend at the time, call D'Angelo. It was New York Fashion Week. So I had to decide, do I want to do and make no money for New York Fashion Week? Or do I want to go on this Matthew Barney project, which was actually paying pretty well for about 2 weeks? Let me tell you something. I could have cried. And I brought in other makeup artists who actually didn't know who he was, which upset me. I was like, I should have really found out if they really knew who he was, and brought in artists who really loved his work, because I realized they didn't appreciate the opportunity that was being given to them. We worked with Paul Giacometti, Maggie Gyllenhaal, some of
What?
the top porn stars in the world. Installation artists, they created this one room, and I'll be very brief with this. They created this one room. It was like a feast, like an old Renaissance feast, right? With the pig and flowers and fruit and huge table. But this particular scene was about decay and how life decays and ages around us. And in the midst of this, he allowed this room to decay while we were shooting for 2 weeks. So
What?
imagine that. So
That's
this
madness.
is madness. So, but it was beautiful. So the room is decaying, and that smell, the smell of a pig or a hog that's been partially cooked, not quite cooked all the way, that smell is like death. And
And
it
the
was
maggot.
intentional. It was intentional though.
And the
And
maggot.
maggots were around, everything was around, flies, you name it. But I thought it was such a beautiful, because it's called Rue de Fundament. And I was able to work on that. And that is a 5-hour film.
Wow. That
And
bless you.
yeah, and that's what I mean about the power of speaking and manifestation and drawing and just it was there. Nzingha.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Abs- and I think when it happens unconsciously,
hmm
it is when you're your purest.
Very true. Very true.
When you are just pure, there's nothing in your heart other
Mhm.
than admiration and love.
The
Yeah,
desire.
yeah.
Yes. Wow. I have a few more questions for you. What are you grateful for?
Breathing.
Mm, the breath of life.
Yeah.
Mm,
Every day to get up and breathe and um to see the day with my eyes,
yes. Mhm,
see trees with my eyes,
mhm.
to smell the fragrances, some pleasant, some unpleasant.
That part.
Uh, I'm grateful for my senses.
Yes. Mm, beautiful. Beautiful.
Mhm.
Wow.
Are you ready to take that first step towards true, unwavering inner happiness? Are you like thousands of people who have everything they need, not want, but need, and still can't seem to find happiness and fulfillment in their lives? If so, the Steps to Happiness show is for you. On my show, you will learn about the principles and practices that lead to true inner happiness. Because guess what? It isn't found in our external environment, but within ourselves instead. Together with my guests, we will explore the latest physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being practices. And together, we'll advise you on the actionable steps you can take towards a happier, more fulfilled, authentic life. So I invite you to join me each week on Soulivity TV on the Steps to Happiness show with me, Teresa Greco.
Life is full of moments. And when sickness breaks your momentum, from the 5 a.m. stomach bug, or stress and anxiety at work, don't forget you have Teladoc. Great care options by phone, video, or app. 24/7 access to doctors. And access to therapists 7 days a week. From anywhere you are. Day or night. Whatever it is, we're always ready to help. So you can get back to enjoying life's best moments faster. Life is good. Enjoy it well.
Visit a doctor today without even leaving your home. For as little as $19.95 per month for a family plan, you get access to board-certified physicians as often as you need it. And there's $0 for medical visits anytime, anywhere. Register now by visiting soulivity.com/health perks. That's soulivity.com/health perks.
Welcome to your new you with Aspire by Soulivity. Virtual inspiration for your mind, body, and soul. With the help of at-home experts and celebrity guests, Aspire by Soulivity provides tools to tap into the passion and purpose that lives within you. Find classes to educate and motivate you. From nutrition to your body and a whole lot more. So, take the leap. Start your new journey with Aspire by Soulivity today. Sign up now.
Question for you. In closing, what advice would you give to young, aspiring makeup artists or any artist per se?
Be excellent.
Mm, be
Don't
excellent.
don't be mediocre.
I just
That
inhaled that.
yeah, that means you have to work at this.
Yes.
That means you have to look at everything,
Yeah. Very true.
study everything,
Mhm.
and know that the world should be your muse. The world,
Yeah.
the good, the bad, the ugly, everything
All of
is,
it.
you're going to use absolutely everything that is in this world in your kit.
There you go. That is an excellent way to end this because I've said this often to people. Go to museums, travel, read. Don't believe everything you're told. Read it and read multiple sources.
Yeah.
I was telling a friend recently that I felt like I had just come out of a fog, like I had been in a fog since 2012. I really believe that. Not depression, but a fog.
No. Yeah.
Because I was like, I was tired of having the same conversations with people about race, same conversations with people about our history, not only as Americans, but our history of the world, from colonialism to slavery to human trafficking, you name it, and repeating the same things over and over. And it just done, I'm like, people do not read. People do
No.
not expand outside of what they know or what they've been told, really. And
Mm-hmm.
that was highly disappointing because a lot of these individuals I knew and I thought I knew well. And I was highly disappointed in their lack of awareness, you know, living in New York City of all places, let's say that, LA, London, France, wherever, and being so limited. Yet I could talk to people from the Congo or from South Africa who had such a broad knowledge of every culture, not just the area of Africa that they were living in, but their global experience. So, as artists, this is how we need to be. As you said, we have to be excellent and aware of all those things. Yes.
Because though, other cultures'
Mhm.
way of doing things, you'll find um, quick fix
Right.
or
Mhm.
colors that
Mhm.
you've never delved into.
Right.
I have a favorite artist right now, and her name is Lena Victor.
Okay. Nina Victor. Okay.
Yeah, Lena. L.
Lena Victor.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Lena Victor, and she's an African British artist,
Mhm.
and she uses this color. Some will say it's cobalt blue.
Mhm.
There's a way. There's another name that she uses for it. Um, she uses
Mhm.
that as the primary uh, focus for her work.
Mhm.
Gold leaf,
Yes.
onyx,
Mm.
um,
Royalty, very royal colors. Yeah.
yeah, and um, her artwork is scale, so
Yeah.
which means
Mhm.
super. And it was one of her. It was the inspiration for Kendrick Lamar's video
Ah.
for All the Stars from
Mm.
Black Panther.
Interesting. Mm.
And I looked at the video and I said, "Oh my God, this is Lena Victor right here. Look at
Yes.
all of the colors that's chosen here in this video. Look at the reds. Look at she uses red as well, but not, that's not like the primary thing. But
Mhm.
you see the influence,
Yes.
the, the impact that she had on this particular director's
Mhm.
perspective in use for the video.
Yeah, an art direction, basically. When you're an art director, you do pull from many sources, and whoever directed and art directed his video, including Kendrick Lamar, I'm sure it's phenomenal. Yes, I need to watch it.
That I just thought of that when I worked at Vibe magazine, because I was one of Vibe magazine
Mhm.
for 5 years.
Oh, wow. Wow. Mm.
Um, what all of us had intended to do was to bring hip hop fashion into the forefront. You had
did.
people like Dapper Dan, who was one of my major influences, one of my fashion influences, came from Dapper Dan. He was in Harlem.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Doing illegal.
But look at how that turned around. How beautiful is that?
And at the time, I was dating this guy who was a drug dealer.
And he would bejewel you and Dapper Dan, I'm sure. Yes.
I wasn't into the MCM, but I was into the Louis Vuitton.
Of course, darling.
The Louis Vuitton brown looked like my skin. It's a reddish, so I love that, and it was, one of my inspirations. In fact, it was my inspiration for the cover of Interview magazine. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're going to find that and hopefully we can post it because I think we should definitely share that image. It was iconic. And I want to say to you, Nzingha, I appreciate you. I love you. And I thank you for inspiring us all. To you as well. Those luscious lips. And how can we reach you? Tell us what your Instagram is and your website.
My Instagram is Queen Enzinga, QUEEN I would say a crown in the front and a crown in the back.
Love it. Love it.
And you can find my website, NzingaNYC.com.
Thank you so much, love. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Have you ever asked the question, if I was to be anything, what would I be? Regardless of money, regardless of status, beyond popularity and fame. Living your passion, feeling your life has purpose. Solivity is a space to nurture that which lives in all of us. A place where work can become play, and doing what we love creates the dreams of a lifetime.